Great introduction. I hear that. Hello, everyone. I'm Antoine. So I'm a French producer since 10 years, specialized in the digital world. So I do interactivity, web series, web documentary, many things like this, interactive ads. And 18 months ago, I discovered virtual reality by chance, meeting a friend who make video games. And I decided to create a company specialized in making film for the virtual reality, which is named OKIO Studio. So we make film for the virtual reality. I will say no VR, so it's more easy for my English. So I make movie for the VR and for all the devices compatible with the 360 degrees devices. I will explain later. So I don't know if many of you know what is VR. Well, yeah. Who tried already a mask? Okay, great. But I will show a little video to explain a little bit what is it for the one who didn't try it. Okay, so that American style, so wow and everything, but it really looks like this when we try for the first time. So I will make two small parts in the speak. I will explain what is VR, how you can watch it, what devices are compatible with, and then after we'll talk a little bit about how to make a movie, how to make a script for this kind of thing. So what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a lie. We have to build a real universe in animation or in live action to make you feel like you are in the reality. So you put a VR mask that will lie to you, cut you from the reality, and give you a story that we create for that. By opposition to augmented reality, that many people make the mistake to use one word for the other. Augmented reality, most of you know that, of course, is when you see the reality and a device like the Google Glasses will give you new information on the reality. So that's really different thing, but there is also mixed reality, but not for today. Okay. So virtual reality, like every new big technological advance, have one big boom, then fall down, then come back, and the comeback is nowadays. So nowadays is not the first boom. Like all the technology have that kind of thing. Like the Google Glass, they came up, they fall, and they will come back for sure. So virtual reality have the early boom in the 80s and 90s, but it was really heavy, really not good quality, really, really expensive. So it was only designed for theme park, specialist theme park, like in France, the Futuroscope. I don't know here if you have one, or the Army, or big game. Sega tried it, but you know it was looking like this. It was really not great games you can play with, so it crashed really quickly. It crashed like during 6 years. Sega and Nintendo make a video game, but it crashed really quickly. So like 2 years ago, a young guy named Palmer Luckey, who got 19 years old, find a way to create a VR mask really cheap that you can take everywhere and really small. So it was the Oculus Rift that most of you know already or read article about it. And then Facebook bought him 2 billion, and all the constructors begin to make their own mask. So the Samsung is already, you can order it on the web already. It's like it's $200, but of course the trick is you had to have a 600 euros phone, but it's one of the cheapest good quality masks. Then the HTC is coming soon. It was a old presentation. So the Oculus will come finally beginning of January of next year, and the Morpheus is coming for Christmas. So they will have many, many masks for all the kind of budgets, and also Google created a cardboard. It's a mask you can build by yourself. It's really, really easy to build. Even I suck in building things, and I succeed in 10 seconds, and it's like 2, 3, or 4 euros. So it's the cheapest mask, but the experience is still nice. So you put a phone in it, any phone, put it in the Google Cardboard, and you have a virtual reality experience. So what is really important, because even if the mask will increase on all the people's house really quickly, they say in 2020 it will be 100 billion masks sold, but during this time it's really important to understand that all the movie you make for the VR are also compatible with all the other device. So, sorry for that. So it's compatible with the computer, because now there is a 360 player. So there is a, yeah. Yeah, I can do what you want. Okay, I can talk without it. Yeah, of course. It's a little bit drawings. So there is the 360 100 players that are compatible with all the computer. So this has been for like 4 or 5 years. So you go on a 360 player, and with the mouse, you click on the right and on the left, and you make the turn up and bottom of the video. And then a few weeks ago, YouTube make a YouTube 360, and in 2 months, Facebook will do Facebook 360 autoplay video. So now, all the movie, I speak about movie a lot because I do that, but it's the same, I guess, for the game, but I'm not know anything about the game. So it's compatible with the browser and with every computer, and also with the tablets and smartphone, because there is a gyroscope in it, as you all know. So you can have your movie in it. It's not as immersive as the VR mask, but it's really quite a good experience. So you look what you're pointing at. So one of the best, I think, if you want to try, for ones who maybe don't know, it's Polar C. Polar C is a free app that works on every phone, every tablet, and it's really cool way to see what is a 360 video. So then, where do you find the contents? Because we say that you can see it on a mask, you can see on a browser, on a computer, on an iPad, everywhere. But where do you find the movie and the thing? You can find two kinds. You can have it directly on YouTube 360, or other website like Little Star, Video, Facebook soon. But you can also have the film with an application. So you, I don't know, encapsulate, you put the film in an application, and you make the application available on every store. So it's all of course Google Play, iTunes Store, but all the constructors will have their own store. For Oculus, it's Oculus Share. For Samsung is Milk, I think. So every constructor will have their store where you can buy their experience, their movie. And a producer can choose to put his movie on every store, or to deal with one constructor to have an exclusivity with Samsung, with who you want to. And also because many people say it will be only for people with the mask on their home, and maybe it's too scary, people will not go home anymore. It's the beginning of Strange Days or thing like this. But there is people, of course, Americans to begin, that are building a theater with everyone have their own mask, but the sound is shared with everyone. So I think it's opening in November, so we'll see if people want to share this experience with the other, with the audio. And it's also compatible, if you think it before you shoot, with the spheric theater. So it's really important to know that there is many utilization of the movie you're making, because before 2020, less than 100 million will have a mask, so we have to think to all the other one. So okay, so now we see what is virtual reality. If someone didn't understand, feel free to ask. We see where you can find it, that it's compatible on every devices. So now we'll speak a little bit about how we make a film and what is the difference in shooting, post-producing, and narration on a 360 movie, if you want to make one, produce one, direct one, write one, I don't know. Okay, so there is new narrative challenge, of course, because now, for a century, we were used to one narration, cut, close up, you see the one, and the one you, how do you say? So you, what? Contraplan, yeah, like thing like this. So now you have everything all the time on your site, because you get the mask and you can point where you want to see the story. So the first thing, it was to build a new camera. We had to build a new camera. When I say we, it's not OKIO. It's 20 companies around the world, and will be 200 in a few months. but we have to rethink the camera. So there is three kinds of camera that can be used. The first kind is what we call a rig. A rig is like a piece of plastic that you print with a 3D printing, or a piece of wood, or a piece of metal, if you have some great skills on your team that can build it for you. So you make a rig, and you put several cameras in it. It's like a ball like this for the GoPro, or a ball like this for the professional camera. So you put 5, 6, 7, maybe 4 if you have a 14mm angle on a rig it's a ball, and you shoot on the same time everything that's happened on your screen. So there is 3 ways of filming thing. I'll speak about the 3 and say what is the advantage and the bad points, the disadvantage. So the rig is, the advantage is it's not expensive. You make a rig, it's something like it's 300 to 500 euro. I mean non-expensive for a professional or a company. Everything is expensive for an individual. But it's a rig, and then you buy 6 GoPro, you rent 6 Red Epic or 6 DSLR camera. So it's not as expensive, because the rig you can do it yourself with a few euros, and you rent a camera. So it's like making a movie with 5 cameras, so it's okay, it's not a big thing in the budget. But the problem with the rig, it's a physical problem. You will have, do you know the term bad clipping? Yeah, you will have bad clipping on stitching. Because as you have many cameras filming the same thing, if there is one camera here, and I walk on front of the 2 cameras, I will be a little bad clipped myself. So I'll show you a little bit what it means. You know, here, you see obviously a bad clipping. So that's the kind of thing you will have with a rig, even if you have the best DOP, the best camera, everything, it's mathematic, you will have that kind of problem. So that's the main disadvantage, but the great thing is that it's really cheap by opposition to the 2 other things we'll speak after. But you have to know that this kind of bad clipping, they won't ruin the experience. You're still comfortable in it, you're still believing in it. So it's something, I shot 2/3 of my movie with that kind of problem. So then you have the more professional thing, you have the multi-time shooting, and you have the scan. The scan I'll speak at the end. The multi-time shooting is, we'll say, I want to shoot this. Okay, so I will shoot first that angle, then I will shoot that angle, so I will shoot several angles, so the stitching will be really, really clean, everything will be perfect, so that's the advantage. Another advantage, so it's also cheap, because you have to have only 1 camera, or 2 if you want to make a stereoscopic film, like any movie. So 2 advantage. It's quick and it's cheap, and the big problem is for the narration. For a director, it's not the best way to shoot. For a producer, maybe it is, but not often for a director, because you cannot interact, the 3 parts cannot interact one with the other. They can interact, sorry, they can move from one part to the other. Wow! Okay, bye-bye. Maybe we can get rid of the black one so it will. Tac. Oh, it's okay. I don't care. So we take it back. So the multi-time shooting, I was saying, it was really great for a producer and a little bit bad for the director, because he have to sing his story, saying if Ursula is speaking to her, so she's speaking to nobody, then you're responding to nobody, and then I stitch the 2 things. You know, another example. So you see, here is obvious, but it was okay because it was a music concert, a private music concert for the VR. So I can shoot the DJ once, the first one, so he get the other one have the rhythm in the eye and in the ears. So once time I shoot him, I stop there. Then we're not moving the camera, just moving the camera, but not the place it holds. Then the singer, then another one, and then I can even put the singer again if I want to, because I shoot in several times. So these two way of shooting are great for European budget, because in Europe we always have cheap budget. But if they give me $10 million to make a film, I will use third thing. I will. I don't know if you know no, there is scan that can scan the surface, that everything. So I will scan my set, all my set, without you, and then I will shoot each one of you on a green screen, and then I will rig them where I want to put them. So that will be the huge way of making a VR movie. I don't have any example of that thing because I don't have the budget to do it, but that will be the best way, I think, of making a great VR movie. And I know that the Americans are already using this technology. So then, there is the camera to shoot. Okay, I get time. Okay, then there is a few rules because many people can be sick when they try a movie on a VR mask. So if they show it on a tablet, it will be okay, but when they put the mask, they can feel really sick. And not only with the first Oculus Rift, even now with the good mask. So there is a really few rules, but it can be hard to understand on the first time for the director or the scriptwriter, is that you have to stay always horizontal line. Your camera cannot do that or that, but you can do that in the movie, because the movie is everywhere. So if in the movie you want to do that, you can do that. There is no problem with that. You can do what you want on the movie, but the camera never have to do that, because when you're watching a VR movie, you're sitting, and then you're not, if you don't want to do that, we cannot oblige the man to see that, because he would feel really sick. That's the first rule. And the second rule is, I'm the camera. If there's someone doing this, you shouldn't follow him with the camera, because it will be very strange, again for the same reason that I force you to follow someone. Because you can, if you want, follow the man because you shoot everything. So the camera really should not follow the actor. So I think for me that's two big rules that if you respect them, nobody will be sick and you don't have to give back with the Oculus when you show a movie. So there is two schools on moving the camera or not, because it's something we all not agree in the world, because it's a little community for us, so we exchange a lot on Facebook and everything. And I agree with the Quebec and with Spain that not moving the camera is better, because I mean it's better for now, and for maybe a few years we'll see how it evolves. But now, if you watching a VR movie, you are sit on a chair. And if you're not moving the camera, the people will forget that he's on a chair and will begin to feel that is reality that he's watching. But if the camera is moving, then it will be something happen in your head that remembers you that you're on a chair and that you cannot move where you want on the movie. Because a movie is not a game. On a 3D game, you can move like GTA where you want. But on a movie, no. So on my movie, I like when the camera is not moving, because it makes people forget that they cannot move from that chair, and then, because after they'll say, oh, yeah, it's a movie, oh, it's totally fake, and they get rid of the mask. But not everyone agree, and I have to say, I see some good movie with the camera moving. But I'm not a good example because I'm making VR movies, so. But from what I see, people didn't enjoy as much the experience as when the camera is not moving. So there is also another genre that we have to talk about, it's animation. That I'm producing an animation movie in VR with Claire. So animation is really expensive, like always animation, but it's a little more easy because when you do animation, you already rig your character, and you don't rig only the face. Even if you shoot like this, you do also the back. So for the animation, you already have the set, the character. You just have to build a virtual rig on your software, Maya or I don't know what. So it's a lot of work, because animation is always a lot of work, but to go from classic animation to VR animation is really more easy than when we say before that building camera, building microphone, we'll see after. So then you know a little bit how to shoot a VR movie, then how to post-produce a VR movie. That's the really easy part, so we'll speak about it 1 minute. You just have to stitch the images, and then you put your movie back plain, and you go to the post-production on classical post-production. After Effects if you want, Adobe Premiere. Every software you use are compatible with a VR movie. So that's the cool part. You don't have to make R&D or spend money to find tips. You just have to learn to stitch them well. So it's not easy to stitch. If you use a rig, the stitch never will be perfect, but you can be the best you can with what you shoot. A multi-time, you have perfect images, so it's easy to stitch. Then you make your post-production. Then the sound. The sound also is different because you're on a 360 element, so sound is coming from everywhere, and you cannot just do a stereo thing or a Dolby thing, because the sound, if people talking there, it can be him or there or him, and it's not the same direction of the sound. So with VR, what is really nice, we can specialize the sound really, really precisely. So what we will do is we will take, it's a long process to make a VR movie. We will take every unique sound separately. Then we will take our movie into, I don't know if you know Unity or things like this, into software make for video games. And when we put the spheric movie on the Unity, we will put the sound everywhere, really precise that we want him to sound. If my Mac fall down, the sound won't be there, but it will be there. So I will not only look back, but I will look back and down. And we'll see after when we speak about narration that is really important, and it helps to build a 360 narration. Is it clear? Okay. Okay, so we'll speak a little bit about the geeky part, camera, post-production, but the most important thing in a movie, in a VR movie, in a classic movie, in every movie, is the script. The script is the base, and you have to get a good script to get a good movie. Everybody knows that. But making a script in 360, it's a little bit different, of course, because you have to... People can watch where they want to watch, but you, as a storyteller, if you're a producer, we are all storytellers in a way, you don't want people to look everywhere every time. You want them to look where you want them to look, because it's your story. So you'll have to drive the people where you want him to go, even if they will every time can look otherwise if they want to, but you have to drive him. So the place of the audience is really important because we are now active. After a century of being passive, totally passive, the director chooses everything for us. We are now active. So in this movie, I know my audience can watch everywhere, so I have to drive them to see my movie, my story that I want to tell. So how could we do that? By the, I don't know if stimulus is English? Yeah. So we have to make stimulus, visual and audio stimulus. So visual stimulus, can be tricky, but I give an example that speaks to everyone. If you are the camera, and I look in your eyes, so you look at me, but if I look just above your eyes, you will want to know what is behind you, so you will turn your head. So we have to build the story like this, saying little tips so the people will look where I want him to look. So visual thing, stimulus, so we have to be clever to find some. It's not easy at all. But the audio stimulus are a little more easy. It's like a monster scream, so I look there. A door clap, so I look the door. Someone smile, someone laugh, I listen to the laugh. So when you write, before, in Europe, writing and directing are like this, and in the rest of the world is writing and the director. But no, it's not even European rules or other rules, it's the director, the scriptwriter, the producer, and the sound engineer have to write together a script, because they all have precise idea to how to stimulus the movie. So it's something really important to share with the director, with the producer, with the sound engineer, sometimes with the composer. You can say maybe we will have the music in there, so it will be turn the people. So it's important to write all together the thing. Then a question that is often script writer ask me is, do you have to be on the POV of a person? So not at all. It's maybe the 2/3 of the movie that is being made. People take the choice to be in the eye of someone, but there is a company, a big one named Jaunt, G-A-U-N-T, Jaunt in the US, and all their movie are not in a POV, first person thing. So you can put the camera when you want and keep the omniscient point of view that we have on all the classical movie. So that's the two kind of things you can do. I have time a little bit? No, not at all? Okay. 2 minutes? Okay, just 2 minutes, that's perfect to say just one thing. It's not all the story can be in VR. For example, the 3 movie I do know, it's Philippe and I, you're in the head of the robot of Philippe K. Dick. So if you're head of a robot, you cannot move, it's perfect. It's how to make empathy with a robot, so it's right for this medium. Another movie is like you're dying on a hospital, so you're not moving, and people are saying bye-bye to you, and when they say bye-bye, you have the memories behind. And yeah, really, I like comedy. And the third one is you're on a wheelchair, so it's the same thing. You're stuck in a wheelchair, so it's really adapted to VR. So, and then I finish. You cannot say, oh yes, my whole story that I didn't produce 5 years ago, I'll take it and put it to VR. It may really not work, so you have to find a director, find a scriptwriter, or think yourself of a movie that has to be told in VR. And then I stop, and there is interactivity possible with the eyes or with the hand, but next time.